Well, the technology that what we've tended to do with technology, and all my hands up, I was responsible as well, is we tended to look at the technology we've got and we said, how do we get better? How do we provide more functionality? How do we provide greater service? And our technology tends to live in our functional specialist silos. So we have finance systems, accounting systems, we have sales systems, we have service systems and so on like that. And a big job for the technologists has always been, yeah, that's the way it works, isn't it? So now we have a big task to integrate. So to introduce anything new, we have to integrate it into the old. And therein lies the problem with technology. It takes an absolute age to do it. It's very expensive and so on. But remember that snippet of Steve Jobs yesterday, don't start with the technology. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards towards the technology. And I'll just give you one example. I mean, it's early days for this yet, but we work with partners all around the world, and our partner in Sweden, who are essentially an SAP consultancy, so they go in and put SAP in, right? So you'll dance with the devil to achieve something sometimes, but they go in and do SAP, and SAP said to these guys, look, we've got a contract with a Swedish hydroelectric company. We would like you to go in and deploy SAP, and we've sold the client on 9 months worth of work. So from the starting point to actually implementation of SAP fully, it's 9 months, which is quite fast track for SAP if you come across those big enterprise systems. So the partner goes in and within a couple of days they're calling us saying, can we use the method? And of course they're all trained up and coaches in the method and that sort of thing. So we said, yeah, of course. So they go back to SAP and say, look, we'd like to try this a different way. We want to use the method and the approach that we know now to actually deploy. And they said, well, what is it? So they explain it. And they said, well, we're not sure that's going to work. They said, well, how long will it take if you do use the method? And they said, well, it's about a week to get to an actionable plan where 50% of the actions are implementable in the following 3 or 4 weeks. I think we don't believe that can be done. And they go, well, what's the worst that can happen? If we do that for a week and we don't tell the client we're doing anything different than what they would expect, at the end of a week, if you don't sign off on it, if you don't agree that it's worth progressing, we've still got 8 months and 3 weeks to deploy SAP. Right? So, can we have your okay to try it? So they said, yeah, but for goodness sake, don't tell the client you're doing anything different from what you would normally do. And you go, well, they don't know what it is like to deploy SAP, so let's do it. So of course they run through the workshops, that plan I talked about. And part of running through that plan, something that we're going to do either later on today or tomorrow, is to build a connection between that successful customer outcome and every single task and system in the organisation. So you can actually map every IT dependency to every task to the successful customer outcome. You guys are going to do that. So the partner goes away and does this, and what they actually identify is 19 chunks of information technology supporting, and there's only one Swedish hydroelectric company, they provide all the power for Sweden, so they run the grid and so on. But there's 19 independent pieces of IT, ranging from Excel spreadsheets over here, right the way through to big enterprise-wide systems over there. And through using the method, they identified 17 of them were redundant. 17 didn't align with the delivery of a successful customer outcome. So they managed to achieve that in a week and identify it. Now, if you're finding an organisation is doing dumb stuff, what do you want to do? Stop it.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do with all those IT systems? Turn them off. They're not achieving anything. And why they're not achieving anything is, remember that story I told you yesterday about General Motors and producing really good cars, that really sort of old-fashioned cars that nobody was buying anymore, right? A lot of our IT systems do that. They produce outputs, but they're not actually producing any outcomes. They're not contributing to results. Now we think we are because we're all mired in the detail of actually doing it. But when you shift your perspective and you begin to think, what IT do we actually need? Well, that was great news for SAP because, of course, if you reduce the total number of IT systems down to 2, they now only have to integrate with 2. And the integration is a lot simpler to do than it would be if you were trying to integrate across, the presupposition that there was like 19 different IT systems. Now, over that, and what